And welcome to STEAM at the Museum. My name is Sarah, and I'm the Family Experience Coordinator here at the museum. And I'm going to be doing a little demonstration for you, talking about light and color. So, for those of you here with me today, we are at the museum in downtown Kitchener. And for those of you who are watching at home, I'm not too sure where you are, but today we're going to just acknowledge the land that we're on right now. So, this land has been home to Indigenous people for thousands and thousands of years. As settlers, we're very grateful for the chance to live, work, and play on this land. And we're grateful for the generations of Indigenous people who have lived here. In the museum's area, we are located on the traditional territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. I don't know, for those of you listening at home, where you might be located, but a quick Google search could help you in finding that information out. So, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about light and color and kind of how they mix up with each other. Right now, what I'm going to show you is a few little things that I did before we got this workshop started. So, I have a pen here, and I marked a little bit on this piece of paper. I have a different kind of pen that is marked on this piece of paper, and we used a regular Crayola marker on this piece of paper. And now this piece of paper, it's not the kind that you would usually use at home. It's more of, it's kind of, I would say, it gets wet a little bit easier, so we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. So I'm going to grab this beaker here, and we're going to check on it a little bit later, maybe at the end of this, to see what happens, okay? So I'm just going to put this, I'll move this over here so we can see it. I'm going to put them in the bottom here, and they should soak up the water, and we'll see what happens when they're done. All right? I'll do that with all of them. And with this one. So I'll do it right here. Okay, so you might know what'll happen, but we'll talk about it a little later. So we're first going to get started about talking about light. So light travels in a straight line. You might not know that, but it does. It travels in a straight line, and it is a wave. So when I say that light is a wave, you might think of waves at the ocean, but it's more of an invisible wave. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how light can travel in a straight line. I have some water here, and there's a little bit of creamer in it so that you can see the beam of light. And if you can't see it when you're sitting down, just take a look at the TV, and hopefully you can see the beam of light in the water. All right, so can you guys see the beam of light on the TV? Or maybe through here. So the only way that we're going to be able to see this is because I put a bit of creamer in it, and that makes the water a little bit translucent. And translucent means that you can see through it, but there's a few barriers in the way. Transparent means that you can see completely through it, so this glass is transparent. And opaque means that you can't see through it at all, which this little case here is opaque. You can't see anything through it. If you take a look at your hand, you might think that your hand is opaque, but if you shine a light to your hand, you're gonna see, oh, this isn't turning on, that's cool. All right, so, oh, there we go. So you're gonna see, if you have a flashlight, you can see the light in your hand. That's because your hand is actually translucent. So the light can go through your skin, but not completely. because probably your bones in your hand are definitely opaque. But your skin is translucent, and that's why you can see a little bit of the light in my hand. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now we're going to take a look at how light can bend. Okay, so I'm going to use this lens thing here, and there's, as you can see, it's obviously transparent, right? But there's edges. And the edges might not make anything look different, but if you were to look with your eyes, it sort of acts like a lens. So if you have glasses, or if you know anybody who has glasses, they usually make sure that the lenses bend enough so that they can make things clear, because your eyes, some eyes are different than others, and you want to make sure that you can see through these glasses. So I have 3 different colors here, and we're going to see what happens if you were to shine a light through these 3 different things. So obviously you saw there, if you shine a beam of light through the water, it goes straight. But if I have something for the light to reflect off of, it's going to bounce a bit. It's going to bend, or it's going to, all right, so let's see, it's coming out of here. All right, so as you can see, it's going straight, but if I were to turn it, the light should be going straight out that way, but because it's bouncing, it's actually bouncing off of the edges of this lens. So it's going this way instead of going straight. All right? And if we were to use this circle one, it also kind of goes out straight, but it's, if you can't really see it from over here, but if you were to look on the TV, it's bouncing on its own in here. So you can see that there's a break right here, and that's because it's bouncing off, and it's going off of every edge here. So now let's take a look with this prism and see what happens. All right, so as you can see, when the light goes in a straight beam and it moves onto the prism, it starts to reflect in different areas, which is pretty cool. And if I were to put a bunch of different colors of light, it's going to bounce in different directions. Okay. Oops, it fell. So as you can see, they're going in completely different directions, even though I've pointed them all in the same spot. So I'm going to turn these off now, so I can save some battery. And now, we're going to try and talk about color and light. So, when you're mixing paints together, it's, the primary colors are usually red, blue, and yellow. Red and yellow make orange, blue and yellow make green, and blue and red make purple. However, when it comes to light, it's different. The primary colors are red, blue, and green. So, when you put all of the colors together, all of the light together, it's going to make white. But when you mix all of the colors with paint, you actually make black. And we're going to learn about that a little bit later. But here I'm going to show you how these colors will make a different colors than you're used to. So, this one's kind of easy. When you have red and blue, what color does it make? It makes purple. So, when you have a blue light and a red light, it makes a bit of a magenta. It makes kind of like a fuchsia pink. All right? Now, I'm going to turn these off. When you mix together red and green, it's usually going to make brown, but with light, it makes a yellow. So red and green make yellow with light. And then green and blue, if you were to mix them together, it would make sort of a turquoise, right? So it actually makes a cyan color. So if you were to mix them all together, it would make a white light. So let's see if I'm going to do something. Oh, yeah. If Daniel's going to come up here and help me out we're going to shine all the light together, and we're going to see it make white. All right, so if you look in the middle there, it makes actually a very white-looking color. And if I were to have a stronger blue, it would make a really cool white color. So when you put all the light together, it's going to make a white light. Obviously, if you have no light, it's not going to make any light, and it'll be the absence of light. And the absence of light is obviously black or dark. So, now that we've seen that all happen, let's talk about these colors over here. So I have some drills with some color wheels on it. So this is blue and yellow. What color does blue and yellow usually make? It makes green. So we're going to see what happens with this when we spin it. All right. All right, so this is actually, it's very interesting here that it didn't look like it made green, but that's because we're using different types of paint. So this blue here is actually a little bit more purple. And so when you mix it together, it makes sort of a whitish brown. And when you mix yellow and purple, it makes brown, right? All right, so we're going to check out red and yellow. It should make orange, but let's see. I don't know if that's, okay, all right, let's see if I can do that again. I don't know if that's going to work here. Okay, so we might have done a little bit of an accident here, but that's okay. Mistakes happen all the time in science. Science isn't exact all the time, so we like to always have some technical difficulties here, but that's fine. All right. All right, so we're going to check out red and blue. So what color does red and blue make? It makes purple, so let's see. All right. So it made purple this time. Cool, see? We love to do science experiments at the museum to see if things work or if they don't work. Let's see if this one, we'll try this one again. Yeah, it made a bit of an orangish yellow, so that's pretty cool. All right, and now the last one. So this is an experiment for me too. We're gonna see what happens when we spin every single color together, okay? You guys ready? We'll see. It might not make anything cool, but it might make something super cool. All right, what color? It looks kind of like Halloween a bit. It kind of looks like black, but it kind of looks like, I don't know, yellow. So that's that. All right, so now that we took a look at that, we're going to talk a little bit about primary colors. So usually in school, we're taught that blue, red, and yellow are the primary colors. But a lot of the time with pigments, it's actually cyan, magenta, and yellow. Those are some of the primary colors when you're painting with watercolor. So we're going to do a little bit of an experiment, and we're going to see what happens when we paint with the different colors. This one might be a little bit slow, but I'll try to be quick here, okay? So I'm going to do a circle here. All right, we're going to need that to dry up a bit. So, all right, so you guys can see I made a yellow circle right here. I'm going to fan it so that it dries out. Okay, and as it's drying, we're going to take a look. So I also have magenta here. So when we use magenta, what color do you think is going to happen to the yellow? Do you think it might make orange? It might make orange. Let's see. Let's see if we'll see, yeah. So it might make orange, but it might make another color. Well, I don't know. All right. Used a little bit too much last time, so it's not going to dry very quick. Let's see, I'm just going to make a circle here, and then we'll mix it once we get there. All right. Okay. So, we thought it would make orange, but it actually made red. So isn't that cool that if you mix magenta and red, or magenta and yellow, it makes red. I didn't let the yellow dry enough, so as you can see, it's a little bit melty, but that's okay. That's all right. All right. So now the last one that we're going to do is we are going to use blue. All right. Okay. Let's see. I like to color it outside of the lines first, just so that we don't get it mixed up with any other colors. And then we'll see. Okay, it made a bit of a green here. And now, let's see. red, I've done some blue. There we go. Alrighty, so it's gonna drip a little bit, but that's okay. So we've made purple and green. All right, it's definitely dripping right now. What do you guys think is gonna happen when you mix together all of the colors? Let's see what happens. I'm gonna get yellow down first. I'm gonna put the magenta down after. All right, so that's a nice red there. And then we're gonna put a bit of blue. Oh, I actually made a green. All right. See, it's all about experimentation. All right, so let's see. All right, so here, I don't want to flip it over too much or else it'll drip all over, but it makes a black color. It made a really dark green, but it really depends on what colors you mix together. So if you've ever had a cheap marker from the dollar store or something, you would always, it sometimes looks a little bit blue. All right, I'm just gonna stop messing around. So it looks a little bit blue when you get a marker from the dollar store or something that it kind of dried up. That's because some of the pigments like to dry up more than the other ones. So we're gonna take a look right now at our different markers. Okay, so do you guys remember when I dipped them in water? Well, look what happened. This was an ink. This was the first pen. And it's a bunch of different colors. It's magenta here, you can see yellow, you can see blue. That used to be a black marker. It doesn't work so much with pens though. So this pen right here, that didn't do anything because the ink is a lot different than the ones that you use in markers. And now here is, you can't really see it, but here's the marker, the Crayola marker. There's a little bit of colors on the edges. So there's some blue and magenta. But what really, really worked was this really nice pen here. So this turned into this. And that's because when it gets wet, the molecules like to run away from each other. They like to get away. So I hope that you guys learned a lot about color here. This one kind of looks cool now because it looks kind of like art right now. It looks like I meant to do that. Pretty cool. And I hope that you guys have a great day at the museum. And thank you so much for joining us if you joined us on YouTube or if you just joined us here today. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day.